Alright, the graph of the linear function f is shown in the xy plane. The graph of the linear function g is perpendicular to the graph of f. If the graph of g passes through 0, -4, what is the value of g of 6? Well, okay. Let's start with what we can discern from function f. So this is f of x right here. It is linear. If we look closely here, we can figure this out. Alright, so we can say that, hey, guess what? We know that the y-intercept, right, is at the coordinate 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 3 is the y-intercept. And we can use that point, and then we can use any other point that we want. And we could solve for the slope. Or since it is graphed, we can just count the rise and the run. So the rise is -1, and then the run goes 1, 2, 3. So that's going on the x-axis, that's positive, so that's 3. So since we know what the y-intercept is, and we know that the slope is -1/3, we can write function f. So we could say that function f is equal to, I think I'm going to write this a little bit straighter. So we can say f of x is equal to -1/3 x plus 3, because we know what our y-intercept is, right? Plus 3. Okay, good. Now, let's bring this down here. So with that being said, we can do the rest, I think, algebraically. They tell us that the graph of g is perpendicular to the graph of f. So since g is perpendicular, we know that perpendicular lines, perpendicular slopes are opposite or negative reciprocals. Yeah, I can spell. Okay. So if they're opposite or negative reciprocals, we can say that the function g has a slope of positive 3x. Now, if you're keeping a keen eye here, you should notice that when they tell us that the graph of g passes through the point 0, -4, well, guess what that 0, -4 is? That 0, -4 is the y-intercept, because the y-intercept is always the coordinate 0, y. So we don't have to do any other math other than we can write out that this g of x is 3x minus 4. So when they ask what is the value of g of 6, now we just solve. So g of 6 is going to be g of 6 equals 3 times 6 minus 4. So g of 6 equals 18 minus 4, which is equal to 14. And we're good.